Hi folks, this is a short video designed to give you a brief walkthrough of how to find, navigate, and understand what you can find on our library's webpage. You can access our school library and all of the databases and all of the material we have available for you from the stcharles.edu website. So that's where I've started. So you'll see that up here we're at stcharles.edu. So we're going to click on the full website. And when we get there, to get to our library's databases, you're going to start on the quick links and just click on library. This is where you can end up, and you're going to scroll down to this little search bar. Now here's why utilizing our library's website is so important for finding sources. You'll notice here we've got books and films and articles. One of the things that I harp on at a number of places in our class is the idea of utilizing academic articles. Your sources that you're choosing for your papers frequently have to be articles versus websites. And I talk in several other places about how an article has page numbers, and you're generally going to be finding articles if you are using our college website to find them. They don't really database websites, they database articles. But the best way to start, so you can search by books and films, or you can search by articles, but the best thing I think is to search all. So we're just going to pick a random topic here by way of example, and because it's one of the topics that you can't really choose for your final project, I'm going to walk you through this using capital punishment. So if I just want to see what shows up if I search capital punishment, I'm going to just put that word into my search box. Now you'll notice that I'm using quotation marks around this. The reason for that is that means I'm going to actually get things with the phrase capital punishment. If I just put capital punishment with no quotation marks around it, I'd get everything that has capital and I'd get everything that has punishment, but I wouldn't be getting everything that just has that phrase singularly. So I'm going to click find it and see what happens. Okay, so this is your results page. As you can see, I found 54,860 results under the See All. If I just go to books and films, I'm going to end up with 311. If I go to articles, I'm going to see that this is where most of my resources are coming from. So let's just go back to the search all. So obviously, if you were doing a project on capital punishment, which none of you are, you would end up with a lot of options. Okay, I'm just going to pick a couple of them. Now, I'm going to start with a book. So I've got a book. So if I click here, I'll be able to get all sorts of information about this book. You can find out if the book is available in our web library. It'll say available or not. And you can also get all of the citation information you'll need. You've got the title right here. You've got the author. And you've got the publisher and the year it was published. Now say you want to check this book out, the information you're really going to need is this. This is the call number, which will tell you exactly where the book is located according to its Dewey Decimal location. So that's all the basics that you need to be able to get the book out. Now, every book is also going to have some kind of summary, so you can get a sense of whether the book is actually useful based on what you're trying to write your paper about. And you can get the content, so you can see the various chapters that are included, so that you'll know what sorts of things are actually in this book. Because I don't expect when you're using a book for you to use every single page. Additionally, depending on your topic, you may have to find books that are not directly related to your specific topic. For example, this past summer, I had a student who wrote a paper on the Muslim travel bans of early 2017. There are not going to be any books specifically written about those bans. However, what that student was able to find were books about constitutional law, religious freedom, how immigration bans can and do work. So that student was able to find that. Now, one thing I'm going to take a second to point out is you'll see that this little thing just popped up. We have some librarians at our school called reference librarians. Their entire job is to help people doing research. If you're ever struggling through your research, you can go talk to them in the library, you can call them, or you can chat with them. I'm not actually going to do it, but you can chat with them and they can give you information that you might need. Okay, so I'm going to leave this. So that's looking for a book. Those are the basics of looking for a book. I'm going to say a couple other things here about some of this a little bit later, but the other thing that you're probably going to end up looking for are articles. So I'm going to click here on capital punishment and the courts. Now before I do that, I want to show you this little thing here. This little button over here that says PDF, that indicates that we have direct access to that article. If I scroll down a little bit further, I'm going to look for one here that we don't have. Right here, here's another article. It's from an academic journal, but it says full text finder. That means that although we have a citation for it, we don't necessarily have the article immediately available. That doesn't mean you can't get it. If you click on that, I'm not going to go through that complex process and explain it to you here, but if you see something that looks really good, but it's got that full text finder, getting in touch with our reference librarians is a great idea because they'll be able to tell you how to go about finding it. But anyway, let's go up and back to one of our articles. Let's click on capital punishment and the courts. So, if you are at school, you'll immediately go to the page you want. If you're not, you're going to end up on this page, and this is how you log into your library account. All you need is your last name and your 7-digit ID number plus the letters SC. So I'm going to click that, and that should allow me to log in. Sometimes, depending though, it will make you do it again. So I'm going to have to do it again and log myself in. And then I should end up, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the page I want when it eventually goes through. Okay, here we are. So when you click on a source, so this is where you're going to end up directly if you're on campus. Okay, so first of all, you can see this is all the citation information that I need. I strongly suggest writing your own citations. Elsewhere in the course, I've given you information on the basics of MLA formatting. All of the information that you could possibly need is right here. So you've got the title of your source. Even though this is in all capital letters, nothing in your citations should ever actually be in all capital letters. So if you were using this source, you would not put capital punishment and the courts in all capital letters in a citation. You would use normal capitalizing. So you got your title, you've got your author, you've got the journal it was from, you've got the date, you've got the volume and the issue number, and you've got the page numbers. You do not need this. This just tells you how many pages long it was. You don't need that. But notice, you do in fact have page numbers. So this counts as a print academic article, even though you're finding it online. Okay? Now again, without actually reading the article, you can come down here to this place that says abstract. So here you can read about what this article is going to tell you about. And that way you can decide in advance whether it's an article that might actually be useful to you. If you read that and you go, okay, maybe, I think that looks good, then you would click over here on the left for PDF full text. And that'll open the PDF right in your inbox. Not your inbox, I'm sorry, on your page. Now, when you are citing things, you want to make sure, see, you've got that page number. That's what's going to tell you that you have an academic article. When I'm looking at your work, I'm going to be looking for two things to tell if you're using academic articles. One, are there page numbers in your works cited page? And two, are there page numbers in your in-text citations? Because any print source, which is going to be a book or an article, is going to have a page number to go along with the author's name. And this does. So if I cite something from this page, my in-text citation will have page 270 on it. I don't know where the page number went, but you know this is 271 down here, and the one before that was 269. So you should be able to figure out that that's 270. And that's how you find academic articles. So anything that you find like that's an academic article. CNN.com, eHow, NPR.org, Washington Post website, New York Times website. Those are not academic articles. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. This was just my results, and I'm going to show you one last source, and that is an ebook. Ebooks are acceptable for your book sources. So when I click on this, notice I'm at the same thing I would normally find for a book. I still have the title and the author and the press and the date. Instead of having a call number, I have resource online. So I'm going to click here, and I'm probably going to end up at that sign-in page again because I signed in, and then close that window. Eventually, I'll get there. But I may have to go through this, or it's just going to be very slow. So while this is talking, I'm gonna tell you some things about ebooks. Okay, here we go. It didn't make me do that. So you'll notice this actually kind of looks like an amalgamation of what happened with a book, as I was searching for a book, and then what happened with an article, which is where I get. So once again, I get a description of the book. So I can read through this before I actually open the book. So now I have two options. I can PDX full text it or download the ebook. So you are allowed to download ebooks and then have them available to you so you don't have to keep coming back to the library website to find them. But I'm just going to, for the purposes of this video, click PDF full text. So once again, just like with a regular book, if you're going to use an ebook, there's no expectation that you use every single chapter or every single page. The table of contents is over here, so you can sort of look and see what the different chapters do. And say I want to talk about death and retribution. Okay, I can just click on that chapter and go to it. And you see the page number is right there. Okay, so that's the page. And so here's page, or you can see them up here. So you're going to cite it just like a regular book. And it counts as having page numbers, so an ebook counts as a book. All the information you need is over here. And once again, I would not use whatever citation project is here. Because look, it'll tell you how to cite something, but it's often not correct. So even if I go down to MLA, this doesn't quite look like it needs to. Okay? So you just want to follow that template that I've given you and not use one of theirs. These are usually out of date and they don't quite follow things exactly how they're supposed to. So that's a quick and dirty version of how to go through our library website. So if you find yourself with more questions, you can post them on our discussion boards, or if you're having a tough time finding sources, I'm more than happy to answer questions about that. Good luck.